Hey class, it's Miss Suzanne. Today what we're going to do is we're going to subtract mixed numbers when we rename. Sometimes when we are working subtraction problems, we may find that we may have to borrow from the whole number. And so this is what I mean. If you look, you see that you have unlike denominators, so we're going to have to get a least common denominator. So the first thing I do, if you remember, I told you to always bring over the whole numbers first. The least common denominator between 4 and 8 will be 8. So I go ahead and write down the denominators. 1/4 equals 2 eighths, and 3 eighths is going to stay the same. Now, if I'm looking here, I cannot take 3 from 2. It's not going to happen. I don't have enough. So what I've got to do is I've got to borrow from the whole number. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to put a line through the 10. That 10 is going to become a 9 because I'm borrowing 1 from it. But I got to add that back as a fraction. So I've got 9 and 8 eighths. That equals 10, if you remember. That does equal 10. But I can't get rid of the fractions, and so what I've got to do is I've got to go back and add this 2 eighths to it. All right, so 9 and 8 eighths plus 2 eighths is going to be 9 and 10 eighths. Don't worry if you get an improper fraction here, because it's all going to work out in the end. But we want an improper fraction right there, so don't worry about that. Now, this 9 and 3 eighths, I've got to bring it back over here. And then when I subtract, 10 eighths minus 3 eighths equals 7 eighths, and 9 minus 9 is 0, so my answer is 7 eighths. Yes, this is going to take up a lot of room on your paper, but it's going to be fine. It's not going to take you that long to do it. So let me do that one more time for you. Let's look at this next slide. It's 12 and 1/6 minus 7 twelfths. Again, the first thing you do is bring over your whole numbers and get a least common denominator. In this case, it's going to be 12. And so 1/6 is going to be 2 twelfths, and then 7 twelfths remains 7 twelfths. And if you're looking, you can't take 7 from 2. It's not going to happen. So what I've got to do is I've got to borrow. So when I borrow, this is what it's going to look like. I'm going to borrow from the 12. It becomes 11 and 12 twelfths. But don't forget that 2 twelfths, so you've got to add that back. And I get 11 and 14 twelfths. Okay? Then bring over this minus 7 and 7 twelfths. And I get 14 minus 7 is 7 twelfths. And then 11 minus 7 is 4. And that's in simplest form. All right? So, now what you're going to do on your own. So, I'm sorry. No, you're not. I'm going to show you a shortcut. So, right here, we're going to combine some steps with mental math. So, again, this time I have 6 and 1/9 minus 4 and 1/2. I bring over the whole numbers. My least common denominator is going to be 18. 1/9 equals 2 eighteenths. 1/2 equals 9 eighteenths. Here is your shortcut, if you can see it. Now, remember what I always say about shortcuts. You do what works best for you. If you need to write it down step by step, please do, because that's what works for you. But if you can see this shortcut and it makes sense, you can use it as long as you're getting everything correct. So, same thing. I have to borrow from the 6, and that's going to be 5. I know it's going to be 5 and 18 eighteenths. But if I know that and I can add that back to 2 in my mind, I can do that all in one step. So 18 eighteenths plus 2 eighteenths is going to give me 20 eighteenths. So if you can do that in one step, that's fine with me. Then bring over minus the 4 and 9 eighteenths. And I get 20 minus 9 is 11/18. And then 5 minus 4 is 1. So we have 1 and 11/18 as our final answer. Okay, now it's your turn to try it. So what I want you to do is to pause the video and see if you can get the right answer. If you can't figure it out, rewind and look at the video again and see if that helps you. Okay, guys, I'm going to try my best. I didn't leave myself much room here. So, but what I have to do first is I have to rename these with common denominators. So that's going to be 8 3/8 minus 5, and that would be 6/8. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the shortcut this time, because I can't take 6/8 from 3/8. So that's going to become 7 8/8 plus this 3/8 gives me 11/8. Oops. Minus 5 6/8. All right. And then 11/8 minus 6/8 gives me 5/8. And then 7 minus 5 is 2. So I get 2 5/8, and that's in simplest form. So let's look over here at this 10 1/5 minus 1/3. Ooh, I don't have a whole number here with the 1/3, but that's okay. So that's going to be 10 3/15 minus 5/15. Okay? So I can't take 5 from 3, so what I'm going to have to do, and I'm going to move down here to the bottom, I have to borrow from the 10, and that becomes 9 15/15 plus 3/15. Notice I didn't take the shortcut. I just am working it the long way. That becomes 9 18/15. I get an improper fraction. That's what I want. Then I take that 5/15 away, and I get, I don't have my pen with me, so I'm not writing too well. So in the end, I get 18 minus 5 is 13/15. And then I bring down the 9, so I get 9 13/15. That's what I would have written right there. All right, so now what you have is, let's talk about this word problem. So Ella roller skates 4 1/3 miles from her home. After she goes 2 7/8 miles, she passes sister's house. How far from school is sister's house? So you have to subtract those two. So let's do that, and then we'll go over it in class. Y'all have a great day.